the channel. Today I am bringing you a huge group collaboration video. So there are 14 people participating in this collab that Havana Sims put together. So the participants are Havana Sims, Bubbly Zen, Carrie Plays, Jessica Pie, Key Red, Milanin Sims 2000, Sheragon, Hip Hip Renee, Samaj Sugar, Maple Simmer, Hazy, Simaginative, and Angel Clowers. I do apologize if I said any of those names wrong. So for this collaboration, we are renovating the Blue Velvet Nightclub, and we had to keep the integrity of the build, which meant keeping the exterior facing walls. We could manipulate the patios, the pillars, windows, doors, however we wanted, and we were pack restricted, so we weren't able to use Jungle Adventure, Vampires, My First Pet Stuff, or I can't remember the last one, but the Jungle Adventure one kind of got me because that's like my favorite pack for building as of lately. So this is my take on the renovation, and I really wanted to stick with the New Orleans vibe that I felt that the EA team was going for when they originally did this, but I wanted to kind of just give it a fresh look, maybe change the color palette a little bit. So I did add a bunch more windows to the outside, and then I tried, I wanted to have a stage, so I played with the foundation a little bit. So there's like a seating area that you'll see in a little bit, and then there's a stage as well as platform to be able to come down in, like from the front door to come down into the club. And I wanted there to be a lot of artwork, so I basically wanted it to be like all of the greats played here before. We just gave it a little bit of a facelift, so we have all these pictures of all the famous jazz singers and movie stars that would frequent this establishment in its heyday. So here we are just putting in the chairs, and I did try to use a little bit of things from Get Famous because I just felt like that it went really well with the theme, because I wanted to keep this a jazz club. So there is seating downstairs. There are 2 bars. We did have to keep the fireplace downstairs, and I didn't move it. I took that as like literally like it was not moving. So I built around the fireplace and kind of came up with this essentially like a walkway all the way around, except for where the stage is. And then we're gonna go ahead and put in a bar that I believe that's also from Get Famous, and I wanted it to look a little weathered because I felt like they wanted to update the bar, but they wanted, or I should say the nightclub, but they kept like the existing bar because it had been there for so long. And I really like it. I feel like it's a good mix of like updating and modernization, as well as keeping a little bit of the old flair from the previous like establishment. And I think for the most part, I was able to create the vision that I had in my head. I don't feel like this build is super flashy. I feel like it's kind of understated and a little bit elegant. I definitely think that there are better builders in this collaboration. And I did fail to mention that all of our videos will be going up at the same time, and Havana Sims will be streaming a tour of our builds at 2 p.m. And all of everyone's information will be in the description. I highly encourage you to go watch their videos, because when Havana's done doing the tour, she's going to activate a poll for people to vote on the best build. So, that's where the battle of the renovations comes from, is there will be, at the end of the day, a winner. I don't necessarily think that I'm going to win, but that's not what it is about for me, and I did have a lot of fun doing this renovation, and it's definitely something different that I've never tried before, and I kind of want to renovate some of the other shell or like venues that we get with each pack. But right now I am building a dressing room because this is a jazz club, so I wanted there to be a place for the performers to be able to get ready, and also a nice little hidden woohoo spot because when your Sims are at the club and they start drinking a lot, they need a place to have some privacy, just saying. So that was the inspiration behind the dressing room back here. Totally random, but I always end up putting in woohoo spots in all of the venues because I'm like, well, your Sims are adults and they should be able to do whatever the hell they want. We're moving into the bathroom, so there are 2 bathrooms, and I did use the really fancy bathroom like fixtures from Get Famous because it was like a renovation, and I felt like the whole the club made a lot of money, but they still want to kind of stay true to their like divey roots. So some things are like really extra, and then other things are very understated. So that was my goal for this build. And then we're going into the office because we were required to have an office on the second floor and keep that fireplace on the first floor. And again, basically my inspiration was that like this nightclub has been here for a long time, and the owner, you know, has been running it for a really long time, so the office would be like messy but also like classy, if that makes sense. So I did use the items that you get when you like max the writing career, which I've never actually done in The Sims. I get too bored. But I thought that that was a really good office furniture for that, and I even put in a really old computer because I feel like, you know, whoever owns this nightclub isn't really spending a whole lot of time in the office. They're mainly out mingling with customers and trying to acquire new bands to come play at their establishment. So I also put in that carpet, and I wanted it to be very worn because again, this is this establishment has been around for a long time, and we're just giving it a little facelift. So here we are, we have another bar at the top, and it's basically identical to the one downstairs. It was fun when I play tested this because I was like, oh, the bartender's upstairs, and I had my sim walk all the way upstairs, and then they went off duty and I had to have them walk all the way back downstairs to get a drink. So that might be annoying. So you might want to remove that. But I did end up putting seating all the way around the balcony, and I did extend the balcony outside, or I should say like the porch outside, around the side of it, so that way there's seating outside as well. I mean, realistically, you probably wouldn't use that in game, but it's definitely a thing in New Orleans. Like, there is so much outdoor seating on balconies, like at restaurants. Like I love New Orleans. I cannot wait to go back. Which is why I really wanted to keep it with that style that whoever sim guru created this like had in mind, because it definitely, the first time I like ever played it after going to New Orleans, I was like, oh my gosh, that's what this club is supposed to represent. That's amazing. I didn't even realize it. So here I am just putting more artwork on the wall because the jazz clubs that I just hit the mic. The jazz clubs that I went to in New Orleans had so much artwork on the walls. It's like insane. You know, they had like autographs, people signing like dollar bills, you know, pictures of famous people. The culture is insane in New Orleans. If you ever get a chance to go, I highly recommend it. So here we are putting in the outdoor seating. I kind of left it a little like spaced out because, like I said, realistically your Sims probably aren't going out here, but I just think it would look nice from the outside. And the outside of this club is really like understated. There's not a whole lot of lighting. It's not flashy. In my mind, it's one of those like places where the locals go to that tourists don't really know about. It's like one of those best kept secrets and locals try not to like tell tourists about it because they want to keep it authentic and it'd be a place for them to go and unwind. You know, I imagine like somebody who's working in the tourist industry and they're like, where can I go to get away from these people that I'm around all day long? And then I did end up making this courtyard out here because in New Orleans, like a lot of the houses and even the restaurants have these closed-in courtyards, and some of them are even like 2-story high courtyards. So I really wanted to put that in the build and make it like a nice lush garden that you could go and hang out in. Your Sims could maybe like come out and have a little romantic like moment, take some pretty pictures, and then I did put trash cans in there and one for recycling. But I think we're coming to about the end of the build soon, so I think I'm just going to let you guys enjoy the rest of it. And I do want to say, please check out all of the other amazing simmers in this collaboration. Don't forget to check out Havana Sims stream at 2 p.m. and don't forget to vote. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video, and if you like this build, you can find it on the gallery at BRaeSunny. The link is also down in the description, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!